I would now like to introduce our guest this evening, who is Donna Andersen. How are you, Donna?
Very good, thank you.
Wonderful. You've written a book. Tell us about it.
My book is called Love Fraud, How Marriage to a Sociopath Fulfilled My Spiritual Plan. And I also have a website called lovefraud.com.
Lovefraud.com. We'll go over that a little slower so everybody can make note of that. Lovefraud.com. I know you've all felt you've been somehow defrauded in love, and that's so it goes. But this is a little different, isn't it, Donna?
Yes, it is. My website teaches people how to recognize and recover from sociopaths.
Well, let's identify a sociopath. May I read some of these things that you have in your book?
Sure.
All right, let's ask this. Now, it goes the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I'm reading this because there may be some things you say, oh, well, that's him, or that's her. We're not going to be sexist about this, right?
That's right.
It goes both ways. All right. Number one, charisma and charm. They're smooth talkers, always have an answer, never miss a beat. They seem to be very exciting. Okay, tell us about that.
Sociopaths have this magnetic energy about them. They just seem to have a charisma when you talk to them or when they talk to you.
Like politicians?
Actually, many politicians probably are sociopaths.
Really? Who would have guessed, right?
Yeah, really. It's a very good job for a sociopath.
I love it. Okay.
Yes. And they just seem to have this energy about them that's very captivating. And it's almost an intangible, but they have such a confidence and such an aura when you talk to them that you automatically believe them even when they're lying through their teeth, which is another item on the list.
All right, that's good. So they are believable even though you know they're lying. You know it, but you're not listening to that inner voice,
that's
which we
right.
talk about a lot.
Sometimes that happens, yes.
Number two, and by the way, my administrative assistant and my producer identified many of these items with the good Dr. Paul. That would be moi. Okay, make a comment, Mike. I see you. I know you want to. Go ahead.
No, I'm pleading the fifth on this one.
I see, right.
No.
It's just like the time I was on the air and I said, in my humble opinion, and you said, Dr. Paul, you've never had a humble opinion, and we had, 20 callers right after that agreeing with you.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. Enormous ego. They act like the smartest, richest, and most successful people around. They may actually come out and tell you that.
Yes. Well, I should mention that the reason that I've written this book is because I was married to a sociopath.
Oh.
And this is one of the things that he did.
This is your lab test, then?
Yes. I learned the hard way on this topic. And my ex-husband actually had come to where I live in Atlantic City, New Jersey, to supposedly build a theme park. And he actually told me that he was going to be the next Walt Disney. So this is
And you believe that?
He was pretty convincing.
So there was no Mickey Mousing with him?
No, not a bit. Not a bit. Not a bit.
Oh, my. That's really... And the thing that I'm amazed with, and, you're obviously an intelligent woman, and yet you did believe that he was going to do this, the next Walt Disney.
Well, I did think that was a bit of hyperbole and a bit of exaggeration.
Good for you. I'm glad you recognized
that.
I kind of got that impression right away.
Right,
but, you're inside the circle. You don't, you want to believe him, right?
Well, that's what happens when you're in a romantic relationship with someone like this, is that you do want to believe them.
Yeah, that's right. You want to give them the benefit of the doubt and everything, right?
Yep.
All right. Okay, they're overly attentive. They call, text, and email constantly. We're not talking about teenagers now. We're talking about adults, right?
Well, teenagers do it too, but yes.
But they do it as a matter of habit as opposed to being, I said schizophrenic, but it's sociopathic. But they do it, if you're an adult with good mental health, you probably are not going to do that on a continuum.
Sociopaths do.
Okay.
Sociopaths typically will call someone like 30 times a day. It's really overkill, and that's one of the big red flags that someone is a sociopath, is that they constantly are trying to be in communication with you. And a lot of people misinterpret that and think that the person is smitten and that they're demonstrating their love, but actually what they're demonstrating is that they want to control you.
Well, they're also saying to themselves one other thing. The people that are the victims of this, that they have a need to have this attention paid to them as well.
I don't think I would quite interpret it that way.
They wouldn't open that door?
No, it's more that usually if you're in a regular relationship with somebody, you're kind of feeling each other out, when you're just getting started.
But you're talking about in getting started, you're talking about long term here.
Well, this is how they start.
I see.
Actually, what we call it is love bombing. in that what they do, it's quite a term. Yes.
We're talking about terrorists of love, but go on.
That's actually a very good description, terrorist of love. I'm sure my readers will like that. But what they do...
You can quote me on that. It's all right.
I will,
Just give me credit
absolutely.
for it. That'll work.
I can do that, absolutely. And what they do, though, is that they constantly call, they constantly send emails, and they'll say things like, oh, I just wanted to hear your voice, or something along those lines. And what they're...
Well, this is a romantic thing. I mean, we have to make something crystal clear right now. We talked about this before the show. Many people have these attributes, but you have to have them all in
Right.
order to qualify as a sociopath.
Yeah.
Right? So don't go calling your boyfriend a sociopath. He emailed me 14 times today. He may not be a sociopath. Maybe he doesn't want to pay for the credit card bills that you're... Never mind. All right, so you have to have all of them. This is not just a singled out item.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
we have 10 items on the list that we're talking about tonight, and someone needs to have pretty much 8 or 9 or 10 of them in order to
Okay,
be qualified.
that's fair.
Yeah.
So don't... Yeah, I can hear... I got an email that I understand is coming in from a man who took umbrage with maybe something Dr. Paul had said. Can you imagine that? Somebody taking umbrage with moi? Okay, overly attentive. Okay, we talked about that. They resent the time you spend with your family and friends. I understand that.
Yes,
You know.
yes.
Now, here's the kicker. Now, this one is really where I would say, yeah, with my background, with my studies, I think I mentioned to you that I have my degree in behavioral psychology. And so, but I'm not a psychologist, because in the state of Florida, you have to be a practicing psychologist to be called a psychologist. I did not choose to do that. All right, number 4, Jekyll and Hyde personality. Now, this one is really recognizable. And I can tell you that I have recognized that in a person that I knew. However, the person in that case, and you say they have to have all of them, this was a personality trait that was recognizable, but the woman was schizophrenic. So don't just say because somebody's schizophrenic, they're a sociopath, right? So don't confuse them. A lot of times people, if that's what it is, that's how they are, right? But we're not saying that.
No.
Okay.
But a Jekyll and Hyde personality is essentially just what it sounds like. I've had a lot of cases where people will tell me, he's telling me how much he loves me, and then a minute later he's telling me he hates me and he's screaming at me.
Exactly.
And it's like flicking a switch. But then what's really weird is that they go back. In other words, they can have this raging screaming match.
Oh, yeah.
And, yell and scream. And then, of course, the other person who's getting screamed at is upset.
Right.
And then 5 minutes later, the guy is like, nothing happened.
Right.
And-
And they're doing this for purpose, to control.
Yes.
That is a highly leveraged control method. So if I say, I love you, and then say, I hate you, I don't like you anymore, the person wants to do something to be loved again. So in a large part, it's like brainwashing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So if you've got a Jekyll and Hyde personality, that to me is a key item in this sociopathic tendency that people may have. This one too. Donna, you are right on. I want you to explain. Blame others. Nothing is ever their fault. They always have an excuse. Someone else causes their problems. Please, preach to the choir about that one.
This is actually the biggest sign that we're seeing, because we're doing a survey of our own readers, is what they've experienced, and blaming others is coming out to be one of the top things that they see in sociopathic relationships.
Excuses satisfy only those making them. And I've got that in my book, and I read this when we talked. We did a pre-interview, and I thought this lady has really done a fine job in identifying this, especially if you're in the field. If you are there dating, this is the book for you. This is where you need to go, because if someone has all these traits, you need to understand and identify that this is what's happening. It's not you. And too often, a woman will blame herself.
That happens all the time.
Exactly.
Because actually, the sociopaths do that on purpose.
Of course.
They actually try to make the woman or the male feel, whoever is the supposedly healthy person, they try to make them feel on purpose that it's all their fault.
Oh, absolutely.
They absolutely accuse them of being mentally unbalanced.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they do this, and then not only do they accuse the person, but they tell everybody they know. And this is something that we call the smear campaign,
Right.
is that they go around and tell everybody else that this person has mental issues, this person, there's something wrong with her. But the way they do that is they do it in this concerned voice. I'm really concerned about her because, she really does have a mental issue.
I don't know, Donna, you did that pretty well.
Did I do that well? All right.
Check this one out, Mike. She did. She knows her work. Look, this is the person that can tell you how it works. I mean, she's really studied these people. She knows. It also can happen in families where people do that to other family members. So
Yes,
the family
yes.
member ultimately figures that, well, it must be my fault. I'm to blame. You start blaming yourself because you have been manipulated
Right,
on
right.
and on and on, and then identifying yourself as being, in any situation, the fault of what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? Good. I like this. Oh, this is one. You hit it right on the button. You have to read this book. I like it. Dr. Paul endorses this book, and I don't endorse much, and I don't.
Oh, great.
Lies and gaps in the story. You ask questions and answers are vague. They tell stupid lies. They tell outrageous lies. They lie when they make out better telling the truth. Oh, please.
Yes.
Explain that.
We like to say that they lie like they breathe.
Only when their lips are moving?
Something like that, yes, absolutely. And it's just incredible because they are so good at it. And, there's a lot of misinformation going around where people say, if somebody looks away when they're lying or if they won't look at you or something along those
Not
lines.
the
you can tell.
sociopath.
No, none of that works for the sociopath. I mean, they're experts at passing polygraph tests, because one of the reason is because they feel so entitled to lie.
Entitled.
They feel entitled, and so they have no stress reaction when they lie. And those tests are meant to pick up a stress reaction. They're meant to pick it up if you're anxious or something like that. So, well, they have no anxiety when they're lying, so they always pass the test.
I'm quiet because there are certain characteristics in here that would be just perfect for someone who may be in intelligence work,
Oh, yeah.
but of necessity.
Sure.
There's a new book out, The Company We Keep, man and wife that were in the CIA. It's a new book. If I can get them on the air, I will. It's really dramatically interesting to me. Okay, and this again is about the lying thing. Intense eye contact.
Right.
Call it the predatory stare. That's tight. If you get a chill down your spine when they look at you, pay attention. I had a woman look at me once and I had a chill down my spine. I won't go there, but go on.
Well, this is about the only physical sign that you might see or a physical indication that somebody is a sociopath is they have this look that we call it like shark eyes. They've got sometimes these dead eyes. And mostly the easiest place to see it is in a photograph. You might see a photograph of someone like this and the eyes just look like shark eyes, like there's nothing inside. And so that's what you might see in a picture. But then when you're with a person like that, they may be kind of looking at you and looking through you, and you could see that they're sizing you up for their next meal.
Oh yeah, exactly. You're the
Yes.
next victim. When I said that, I was very serious. You know why? Because this was a woman who did not have REM. No blink, no blink. I've seen people like this on television. Try to keep your eyes open without blinking. It is difficult to do, and these people can do it, and that to me is a very definite sign. If you read facial language, that's one of them. There's good advice. Trust me on that one. Okay, let's go to move fast. They quickly proclaim that you're their true love and soulmate. They want to move in together, get married quickly, and that's it. This is where somebody's taking advantage. Not somebody who's being selective, but somebody who's looking for targets. That's why. Let's talk about that heart. The one on your business card.
Oh, yes, the target. Okay.
Exactly. This
Yes.
is what it says. This is what
Yes.
they're doing. They're
Yes.
targeting you, right?
Right, absolutely. Sociopaths view the world as predators and prey. They're the predators and everybody else is prey. And one of the reasons that they move fast is that they want to get their hooks in you before you escape.
Like stockbrokers,
Something like that.
of which I happen to be one at one time, okay? Series 7. And I kid you not. But I understand that well. I sometimes refer to them as axe murders in three-piece suits.
There you go. Well,
But that's there.
yes.
It's there.
Yes. And, a lot of sociopaths are con artists. And so this is essentially what a con artist will do. A con artist will, need an answer right away. so you don't have time to think about it.
Right.
So that's one of the techniques. I mean, my ex-husband did that to me. He always, because he took $250,000 from me. And that's one of the ways that he did that, is that he, decision had to be made right now, or that we weren't going to be able to.
It's now or never.
Right.
There's another way to turn it on them, and I want you to listen to this very carefully. Sometimes when they answer you, they're vague.
Mm-hmm.
As you stated, they're vague.
Yep.
And the way to stop that with anyone is to say, stop. I can handle a yes, I can handle a no, but I can't handle a maybe. Don't go there, because it's like people, do you know how many people will accept the answer, well, yes and no? Oh, okay.
Well, which is it? Yes or no?
Yeah, exactly. But
Right.
how many people accept that?
Mm-hmm.
And they truly do. I've done it to people, and they've accepted it. I'm thinking to myself, this is really unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
They accept that answer. When you're working with someone like this, the best way to turn it around on them, and that is what people do in behavioral psychology, is turn it around, put them on the defensive, because they're definitely not wanting to be on the defensive. They don't want to be there, do they?
No,
Never.
not a bit. Mm-mm.
So, okay, you didn't really answer my question.
What was the question?
No, not you. I'm talking about talking about the person who's a sociopath. Say, look, you didn't really answer my question. Now, look, you have to answer either yes or no. There's no gray area here. Now, what's going to happen? How are they going to react to that?
They will wiggle.
Exactly, and that's what you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You want to get them off that map that they're reading and get them onto your map, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. This is good advice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sexual magnetism. Oh, wait a minute. There's one. We're going to the sex next. See? As soon as I say that word, all the lights light up over there. Don't answer them, Mike. We'll get to them later. When we answer the sex question, then we'll talk about that. Just wait for that word. Pity play. Oh, yeah. They appeal to your sympathy. They want you to feel sorry for their abusive childhood, psychotic ex, incurable disease, financial setbacks. They have 1,000 excuses to get money out of you. They are sociopaths. Mm-hmm. That is absolutely critical. Tell us about that. That's really critical. That happens in families.
Well, actually, as far as the pity play is concerned, that is one of the things that my ex uses. And what he did was, like when we first met, he started telling me about his previous wife who died and the guys that he lost in Vietnam. And so what he was trying to do is make you feel sorry for them.
Did he play violin music at the time?
No, I'm adding that. But I mean, it was very blatant looking back. I mean, at the time, if you don't realize that this is a red flag, you feel sorry for the person. Oh, he's been through so much, and they're counting on that. That's exactly what they want.
And of course, women want to be helpful.
Sure.
And that's but it's
so
the other way
men.
around too. Same thing with men.
Sure.
Oh, I feel sorry for her, and there it goes, right?
Yeah, they have to rescue the damsel in distress.
There's always a drama.
Right.
Oh, we had an emergency.
Yes.
You'd have to give me money. Oh, my son broke his leg and he's not insured yet. You have to give. There are 1,000 excuses.
Yep.
Everyone designed for you to be the target.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I love that target on your business card. It has the heart and then a little heart and another heart. It looks like a target. It's great. Mm-hmm. All right. Now we're going to the point that you wanted to hear about. Sexual magnetism.
Yes.
If you feel intense attraction, if your physical relationship is unbelievable, it may be their excess testosterone. Well, remember, it takes all 10 of these because a lot of people have chemistry for each other, and that's why they are locked in together and they're bonding and bonded. Mm-hmm. So don't take any one of these out of context. It is what it is, right? It's all of these.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, yes. I mean, someone can be charming, and you can have great sexual magnetism with this person, and that could be fine. But if they're also lying and doing the pity play and blaming somebody else and have this predatory stare and promising you that you're their soulmate in the first 10 minutes, then if you start to see this whole package, then you realize that you might have an issue.
But it has to be all of them, and that's what I really want to emphasize, because you can't take one, take it out and say, well, this person's a sociopath. That's the danger in this thing. But if you read her book, and please, again, tell us the title of your book.
Love Fraud, How Marriage to a Sociopath Fulfilled My Spiritual Plan. And we also have lovefraud.com, which is the website which has a lot of this information on it.
Lovefraud.com. I think you can go there and get a lot of information. Remember, don't pull any one of these things out. You may have a great person who has been attentive to you and you've been with them, and all of a sudden say, oh, he's a sociopath because of this particular one or that particular one. No, he isn't. Or no, she isn't. The point is they has to have the entire profile. This is a profile. Yes, we do profile. Believe it or not, we all do. I don't care about being politically correct. I'm telling you that we all profile, don't we? And you have a profile set up here.
Yes.
Exactly. Just perfect. Anything else you'd like to add, Donna?
Well, I'd like everybody to just come to lovefraud.com and learn more about this topic.
Super. Been a pleasure having you aboard. We'll look
Thank you
forward
so
to having you
much.
again and calling anytime.
Terrific.
Okay, lovefraud.com. That was Donna. We're going to a break, and we'll be back right after these messages with two gentlemen I think you'll find to be most interesting.